welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Monday, which means it's time for a 5x5. If you've not seen a 5x5 before, the idea is simple. I take 5 subjects, I speak about each subject, I take 5 minutes to talk about each subject. There's a countdown timer at the bottom of the screen. When the timer reaches 0, we move on to another subject. It's quick, it's snappy, you never know what you're going to get. Although today you are going to know what you're going to get because we are doing another Paul Harris special. I did a Paul Harris special before and it was ridiculously popular. So I'm doing another Paul Harris special. People want me to look at more material. To be honest, Paul has released so much magic that I could probably do about 5 or 6 of these. So if you want to see more Paul Harris specials, let me know. What I've decided to do today is look at a lot of his older material. So if you want to learn the stuff that I'm going to be talking about today, you can find all of it in the first volume of The Art of Astonishment. Specifically, it's from Super Magic. So I remember when I first read the Super Magic book, I was absolutely blown away. I very recently just got into magic, and PDQ Coins Across just changed everything for me. It's an amazing book. Paul is an amazing creator. Anyway, let's have a look at some early Paul Harris material, and we're going to start with one of my favourite card routines that Paul's ever published. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be looking at, the Interlaced Vanish. Now, Interlaced Vanish was first published in 1977, I believe, and it's a way of actually having 3 cards, 3 aces, disappear from between the kings. And it is such a commercial routine, it really is, especially with how you frame it. If you say to the audience ahead of time, hey, I'm going to make these 4 aces disappear, and then you go into doing it, and it really happens very, very quickly. You'll see in the performance in a minute. It's just as good now as it was when Paul created it in the 70s. It really is. And I love the fact that you've got the 4th ace that goes under the spectator's hands. Now, when you watch my performance of it, I've changed the way that the aces come back afterwards. So when Paul Harris originally wrote it up, once the aces disappeared, he brought them back with a series of slip cuts, which is great. That's no problem with that. But I've kind of gone for a more progressive thing, a little bit like a multiple selection style revelation, where you make the first one come back with an ordinary change, then the second one, they find it in the middle, then a sandwich routine, sort of a sandwich phase, and then the final one goes into your pocket. Regardless, this is a great way to actually incorporate the kings and aces into a routine. So if you've produced the kings and the aces, and then if you've gone to something like Paul Harris's Reset, which is a fantastic routine to do, you can then follow Reset with this as well, because you've already got the aces and kings out. So it's an amazing routine. I'm going to perform it for you right now, but I really highly advise you to learn it. Okay, guys, so this is called Interlaced Vanish, and I have Sarah behind the camera. Hey, Sarah.
Hey.
I'm going to take out the 4 kings for this trick. So we're going to take out the King of Hearts, the King of Clubs. We're going to take out the King of Spades and the King of Diamonds when I come to them. There we go. 4 kings. Are you happy with the 4 kings?
Yeah.
Now, this doesn't really use a full deck of cards. I'm also going to take out the 4 aces as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4 aces. We're not going to use anything else. So we're just going to use, so we're going to use the 4 aces. And as well as the 4 aces, we're going to use the 4 kings. Now, I am going to tell you right now, I'm going to put one of the aces over there on top of the deck. We are going to get back to it in a minute, but one of the aces is going to go right there on top of the deck. Okay? Because there's a rule in Magic. You never tell the audience what's going to happen ahead of time, but I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and make these aces disappear. First of all, these 3, then the one on top of the deck. We'll get to that one in a second. Over here, we've got the 1, 2, 3 aces. Now, to make it difficult for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 3 aces and I'm going to put them face down in between the kings. Can you see that there, sir? So we're going to put this ace here.
Yeah.
In between there. We're going to put this ace there, and we're going to put this final ace there. So we have the 3 aces alternating face down in between the face-up kings. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Now, do you remember the ace that we left over there? You remember that one? The reason this is separate is because this is going to be really hard. Now, normally if I was doing this and you were here and you weren't behind the camera, I'd get you to put your hand on top of this ace. But because you're not here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that ace right there underneath the card box. I'll close up the card box. I'm going to put that ace there, but that would be kind of under your hand, right? So the situation is we have one ace right there underneath the card box, and then we have the other 3 aces here alternating face down in between the face-up kings. Now it's time to make the aces disappear. Watch. 1, 2, 3. Just like that, the aces that were face down here, they've actually completely disappeared. Let me show you. Look, we've only got the 1, 2. They've gone. I told you they've gone. They've actually gone. We've only got the 4 kings. Now I've got to make that one go. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Did you see it go? No. Well, it's gone. I didn't say the card would go. I'd say the ace has gone. And it has. You see, that's now a joker. The ace really has gone. So the 4 aces have gone, like I promised. The question is, where are they? Well, they're very easy to find. If I just give a little rub on top of the deck, what happens is I can actually find the first ace right there. That's the ace of spades. You can find the next one yourself. Just say stop.
Stop.
Right there. We'll mark where you said stop with the ace of spades, right?
Okay.
And you put right there next to that card the ace of spades, and that would be the ace of clubs. There's the 2 black aces. Yeah. The red ace, look, if I just take this, I can grab the ace of diamonds right in between the 2 black aces. There's the ace of diamonds. And the last one's the ace of hearts. When I snap my fingers, it jumps out the deck invisibly. And right here in my top pocket, I have 1 card and 1 card only. And that is the ace of hearts. And that is Interlaced Vanish. So guys, we're going to be looking at Ace Trap now, which is another routine that Paul created that's a shuffled deck in use. And it's a really interesting way of actually finding the 4 aces. Now, this was published in Super Magic as well as the previous routine. What I love about this is normally when you do an ace production, it's normally very flashy, or the spectator cuts the aces or you cut to the aces. This really turns the whole concept on its head. So what happens in the context of this routine is you tell the audience, presentationally, you tell the audience you're going to teach them how to actually find the 4 aces without needing to learn sleight of hand. And then you proceed to do that. So you show that you've got these 3 in different cards and you're making a trap, and then the 4 aces go into different parts of the deck, and it really looks like you're losing those aces into the deck and that there's no control. The construction behind that phase of the routine is brilliant. You are so far ahead of the audience. I mean, it's almost unfair, right? And then because of how the construction of the routine works, once you've put that ace there, and you'll see a full performance in a minute, but once you've put the final ace there to act as the bait, you are already done. You can immediately then spread through the deck. You can show that the aces have gone. And they really can see, they can look through it themselves, and then the 4 aces are there. When I first saw this done, it was shown to me many, many years ago by a friend, and I thought he was using duplicate aces. I couldn't see how this worked. And when I actually learned it, this is something that I performed for a very long time. Now, I think that the best way to actually use Ace Trap is after you've done a 4 ace production. So after, and you know, I've talked on this channel before about routining and the importance of routining and linking effects. This is the perfect example. So you might start off by doing a 4 ace production. And then you go into Ace Trap, because presentationally it's like, well, would you like to learn how to do that? I'm going to teach you a really easy way to do that. And you go into Ace Trap, and even though you're producing the 4 aces again, it's not framed like a 4 ace production. It's almost framed as like a magical appearance of the aces. And then once you've done Ace Trap, it then allows you to move on to something like spectator cuts the aces, something like that, where the spectator actually does all the cutting and finds the 4 aces. That's a great routine to follow up Ace Trap with, because, you know, you've just taught them a really easy way to make the aces appear. So then you can say, well, now you've learned how to do that, let's see if you've got the skills to actually be able to cut to the 4 aces. So now you've got 3 routines that could be considered very similar, that are different, and you've routined them together into this act that's, you know, probably going to last you about 10 minutes and is full of really magical moments. Anyway, enough about that. I'm going to perform it for you. I want you to have a look. It's a full performance of Ace Trap. You can learn it from Super Magic. I highly recommend learning it. It's one of Paul Harris's best routines, in my opinion. So this one's called Ace Trap, and it uses a shuffled deck in use, which is really nice. There's no special arrangement of the cards or anything like that. And I'm going to break the golden rule of magic right now, and I'm going to teach Sarah how to do a magic trick. But not just any magic trick, Sarah. I'm going to teach you how to do the best trick in magic. I'm going to teach you how to find 4 aces from a shuffled deck of cards.
Okay.
Now, normally, when you learn how to do this, it requires a study of sleight of hand. You have to spend years studying how to, how to do various different things, and very few people can do it. But I'm going to teach you a self-working way of finding the 4 aces, and it involves building a ace trap. Now, have you ever heard of an ace trap before?
No.
Well, it's basically it's a device that's designed to trap aces. That's basically what we have here, and it's a very easy thing to do. So let me explain how it's going to work. To make an ace trap, you need 3 cards. Now, it doesn't matter what the cards are. It's not like these are cards that you're selecting for any particular purpose. You just need 3 cards to do this. Okay? And what we're going to do, let me just pop the aces over there for a minute. What you're going to do is you're going to take these 3 cards and put them on the table. Now, it looks like I'm not doing anything weird here, but it has to be put in this exact orientation. If it's not in this exact orientation, it's not going to work. So let me just do this exactly right. Okay, perfect. So now, that is the ace trap. It doesn't look like much. I can see that you're mocking me here, which is fine. But that's the ace trap, and we're going to use that to catch the aces. So first of all, we're going to pop the aces away into the middle of the deck. And what I'm going to do, and I want you to see that I'm doing this, I'm going to put them away face down into a face-up deck. Or I'm going to put 3 of them away face down into a face-up deck. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yep, 3 of them away face down into a face-up deck. We're gonna leave them in there. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So now I need to find those cards. They could be anywhere in the deck. I need to find them. There is a reason, by the way, I've left that last ace over here. And the reason is that is going to be the bait. So that goes right there. No, don't mock me. This is important.
Okay.
That's going to be the bait. Now watch. You know, like when you go fishing and the fish is attracted to a worm, the ace is attracted to other aces. So if I leave that bait right there in the ace trap, watch, it happens in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. It's done. It's done. Because now, if you go through this deck and you have a look, you'll see that there's no aces there. The aces have well and truly disappeared because the ace trap has actually caught the aces. And if you don't believe me, you open up the ace trap and you see that's where the aces now are. So this is Grasshopper. Now, this is a single phase moment of magic where you have the 4 kings from a shuffled deck of cards. You have somebody pick a card. It disappears from one set of kings and it appears in between another set of kings. Now, since Grasshopper came out, and remember this was published in Super Magic back in 1977, since Grasshopper's been published, there's been multi-phase routines using this concept. Cameron Francis springs instantly to mind on his Omega Trilogy DVD set. He put a wonderful version of this that has kind of 3 phases and has a kicker ending. But if you've never tried Grasshopper before, you really should learn it because it was the first routine of its kind that then led to all these other variations. And the nice thing about it is it's actually really easy to do because of the construction behind the routine. And that's something that you need to understand about Paul Harris. One thing that guy does so well is he constructs routines. So you are so far ahead, it's ridiculous. Grasshopper is the perfect example. When you're in the moment where they think that the card's in between the red kings, you've already got it in between the black kings. I mean, you are so far ahead, it's ridiculous. So you can learn a lot by studying Paul Harris and Paul Harris's construction of routines, especially with his card set. The other thing that I want you to take away from this is the importance of coming up with your own presentation for routines. So when I do this, I use the whole presentation of Star Trek. That works for me. And I think that if you can take something that you're really interested in and you really enjoy and you can inject that into your magic, then the audiences will enjoy your magic even more. Anyway, enough about that. Let's have a look at it. It's called Grasshopper. It was published in Super Magic in 1977 and it's an amazing routine. So, we have another shuffled deck of cards in use, and I'm going to take out the 4 kings. Once again, Sarah, would you mind helping me with this? Would that be okay?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, and 4. So we've got the 4 kings. Now, this trick is so good, it's actually a 4-king good trick. Yeah, whatever. You get to pick a card, any one of the ones. Yeah, any card, I don't really care.
Not a king, but any.
Yeah, I've got using the kings.
Oh, okay. Let's pick one I never pick. 6 of diamonds.
6 of diamonds. Okay. Now, normally you would sign this card. However, this is my brand new Abracadabra deck by Blake Voigt, and I'm not letting you.
Don't want me to touch it.
No, you're not gonna. You're not gonna.
Sharpies,
No, leave my cards alone. But we are only going to use 5 cards. We're going to use the kings, and we're going to use the 6 of diamonds. So we have the king of clubs, the king of hearts, the king of spades, and the king of diamonds, and the 6 of diamonds, which was the card you freely named. Now, Sarah, I want you to watch very carefully. I'm going to take that 6. And as slowly and fairly as I can, I'm going to slide it in between the 2 red kings. Do you see that right there?
Yep.
I'm going to put those right there. And the 2 black kings, I'm going to put over there. Now, my favourite TV show when I was a kid, in fact, as you know, I still love it now, is Star Trek. I used to love Star Trek. Now, I know you're not a Trekker or a Trekkie. I know you hate Star Trek. But even you have obviously heard of the transporter. Now, obviously, everybody talks these days with sci-fi about transporting things from one place to another. But when Star Trek first came on, it was only really Star Trek and Blake 7 that had that whole transporter thing. And I was obsessed with wanting to be able to, use a transporter. So this is how it would work. I want you to think of your 6 of diamonds, not as a 6 of diamonds. I want you to think of it as Captain Kirk on the USS Enterprise. I want you to imagine that he's standing there, and the 2 red kings are going to represent the transporter bay. Right there on the Enterprise that he's standing in. Then you've got the 2 black kings, and that's going to represent the alien planet that Kirk has got to beam down to. And obviously, he's going to go down there with a load of red shirts who will die within 5 seconds. And you have no clue what I'm talking about. No. But anybody who's a Trekkie and is watching this will understand completely. So this is how the transporter works. Look, there is Captain Kirk. And all you've got to say, and you've got to say this there, because it won't work unless you say this. You've got to say, beam me down, Scotty. Go for it.
Beam me down, not beam me up.
Well, no, because he's going down to the planet.
Sorry.
He says, "Beam me up" when he goes up to the planet. But when he's on the ship, he's got to get beamed down, not beamed up. You say "beam me up," he's going to end up where he started. So it needs to be "beam me down, Scotty."
Sorry.
It's okay.
Beam me down, Scotty.
There you go. A little bit of a snap for the transporter bit. Look at that. He has gone. And look over here. Look over here. Now inside the alien planet.
Down, I think.
Well, let's just check. I mean, he's gone. He's hopefully in between the Black Kings. Let's have a look. There he is. Captain James T. Kirk, ready to kill all the aliens. So we're switching over to the Las Vegas Close-Up now, which was the book that Paul published after Super Magic. It was published in 1978. And this is a trick called Overexposure. Now, I've been doing this for a very long time. It is just as good now as it was back in the day. And basically, at its core, this is kind of like a wild card routine because you've got the ace, the 2, and the 3, and you're duplicating them, and you've got a kicker ending of the 4 queens. Now, without the presentation that Paul has used to this routine would not make any sense whatsoever. But the presentation really makes sense. And I think the one thing that you can learn from watching this routine is the importance of a hook line, the importance of hooking the audience's attention. Because we've talked about this before on the channel lots, right? One of the key things that you need to learn when you're doing close-up magic is to hook the attention of the audience. If you just come up to them and go, pick a card, they're probably not going to be very engaged. Well, this is a perfect example because the opening hook to this particular routine is, hey, do you remember the old Polaroid cameras? And Sarah had never seen this trick before. When I perform it to Sarah, you're going to see this. That when I performed it to her, she was like, oh yeah, I remember those, I used to love those. And that's the reaction you're going to get from pretty much anyone you show this to that's of a certain age. That are, and it's about knowing the age of the audience you're performing for. But if I perform this for somebody who's in their 30s or their 40s, just mentioning something like Polaroid cameras really gives people, it brings people back to their childhood. And then you've got that wonderful moment where the cards are coming up out the deck, and you've got that tongue-in-cheek moment of, hey, I've invented a camera, and that whole moment with the exposure, and even down to taking the shutter off at the beginning, taking the camera lens off at the beginning. Paul's thought everything out. I love this routine. It really helps me hook my audience. It's called Overexposure. Let's have a look at that routine right now. So, Sarah,
yes,
as well as being a magician, you know as well as me that I am an actual inventor. I invent stuff.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Didn't you know that? That's what I do down the shed at night every night. I'm inventing stuff. And I have. Shut up! Don't mock me. I have invented the most amazing thing ever, and I'm going to share it with you. I have invented a camera. Now,
right.
you remember the Polaroid cameras from yesteryear, right?
Oh, Oh yeah, I used to love those.
Yeah, they were great, weren't they? Because you had that moment where the picture came out and then you had to shake it, waiting for it to develop, right?
Right.
And you don't see Polaroid cameras anymore because everyone's using their phones. But I've realised that I could, if I wanted to, make my own camera. And that's what I've done. This is my latest invention. I'm going to market it to the world. I have built a camera into a deck of cards. And I've taken out the four cards. Now, I've taken out the Ace 2, 3 to show you how this camera works.
Okay.
The Queen is the flash. You know, obviously, when you're taking a picture, you need a flash. Normally, on the old style cameras, you had a flash cube. That's what the Q stands for. Cube.
Okay.
I also can't spell, but don't worry about it. So we've got the Ace, we've got the 2, we've got the 3. That's what we're going to take the pictures of, and then obviously we've got the flash cube. Now let me just I'll put the Ace 2, 3 out like this. We'll put the flash cube here. Now let me explain how you make the camera work. Okay.
Yeah.
All you have to do. It looks like a normal deck of cards. I mean, it really does look like a normal deck of cards. But all you have to do is take the flash device, put it into the deck of cards. Now, instantly, we have a camera.
Okay.
Watch. I'm just going to take a picture of the first card, the Ace. Hang on a minute. It's not
I
working.
don't think it worked. There was no sound.
No, I forgot to take the lens off the front. Hang on, sorry about that. It's just right. Okay, here we go. Take the lens off. Right. Okay, watch. Listen, you'll hear the noise. Click. Did you hear that? Now watch. Look. As soon as you take the picture, look what comes out. There's a picture that's come out. Hang on, let me just shake it and let me just wait for it. It's developed. Look, I took a picture of the Ace.
Right.
Let me do that again with the 2. Hang on, listen for the click. Click. And look at that. Look, it came out immediately. Hang on, let me just give it a shake. Wait for it to develop. There it is, that's the 2. Right, one last one. Hang on a minute, here we go. Click. Look, it came out immediately. It's like a Polaroid camera. Hang on, let me just shake it. And now I've taken a picture of the 3, all because of the flash card. But if you're obviously this is an amazing invention, but it also involves magic. So whatever you do, don't say the words hocus pocus. No, I've said it now. I've said hocus pocus. You shouldn't say hocus pocus. If you say hocus pocus, you'll get an overexposure of the camera, and the original pictures that you were developing will end up destroyed, and you end up with the 4 queens. But at least you got the pictures that we took, and that's my invention. I think I'm going to make a fortune from it. What do you think?
Yeah.
So we're going to go back to super magic now. I'm going to look at a trick, and let's be honest with this. This is bloody mental. This trick is absolutely crazy. It's called vacuum cleaner cards, and it's a perfect example of Paul Harris and his moments of strange, which is what it is, basically. You know, he talks about a moment of astonishment and astonishing the audience, and that's fine. But some of his tricks are just bloody mental, and this is a perfect example. You're basically doing a card routine whilst pitching people on buying a vacuum cleaner. I mean, how crazy is that? If somebody went up to you today and said, hey, I've got an idea for this trick, I'm going to pitch people a vacuum cleaner and I'm actually going to do a trick based around it, you'd think they were insane. And yet Paul Harris pulls it off. It all makes sense. I remember the first time I saw this was Michael and Ma on one of his Easy to Master Card Magic DVDs or VHS tapes, to be honest, back in the day. And I fell in love with the routine. Then I've been performing it ever since. If you don't do vacuum cleaner cards, it's a really great trick that you should perform. Let's have a look at a performance of it right now. Right, Sarah, I need you to help me again with a card trick.
Okay.
And once again, this is with a regular deck of cards, but we're going to take the 4 aces out of this.
Right.
And you, when we first met, I wasn't a professional magician, was I?
No.
What was I doing? Tell everybody.
You were working in sales.
I was working in sales, right? And I was very good at sales. One thing that I always wanted to do, and I never did, is I always wanted to do door-to-door sales selling vacuum cleaners, because I think I could be the world's best vacuum cleaner salesman. Yeah, I think I missed the boat. Okay. I think I got distracted with this whole magic thing, but I think I could be the world's greatest vacuum cleaner salesman. And I actually came up with a pitch for selling vacuum cleaners using a pack of cards. Would you like to see it?
Sure.
Cool. So I've got this deck of cards right here, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to put the 4 aces on the front of the deck of cards, on the face of the deck of cards, and I'm going to cut the deck into 2 piles, exactly 26 cards in each pile. And this packet of cards here, these 26 cards, Sarah, that represents the carpet that you have in your home. Not just any carpet, but a 26 shag pile carpet. Each one of these cards represents a different shag.
I wouldn't have that in my house.
I probably wouldn't. But I want you to imagine that this represents your carpet, and you know what the problem is. Your carpet gets very, very dirty very, very quickly. And this ace here, it represents all the slime and grime that's ground into somebody's carpet. You know, over time you get slime and grime. This one here represents all the mud and blood and crud that you get ground into somebody's carpet. And this one here, this represents Ryland and Thea being allowed to be on their own in the front room for half an hour, and the state of the carpet after they've been there for half an hour. And then what happens is, once your carpet gets all of this mess, what happens is it ends up getting more and more and more messed up, doesn't it? I mean, you end up in a situation where your carpet is just a disgrace, and it's just horrible, right?
Okay.
Now this ace over here, this ace is going to represent the vacuum cleaner. That's right, Sarah. This card sucks. This is going to represent the vacuum cleaner. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Okay.
Now I want you to watch. There's the carpet with all of the mud and blood and slime and grime and stuff in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ace, and I'm going to pop it here like this, sticking out of this packet. And this is going to be our vacuum cleaner right here. Okay. And I'm going to show you how amazing this vacuum cleaner is. Nothing will happen until I turn it on, and you should hear the vacuum cleaner start. Now watch, because this is amazing. Watch.
Okay.
Stop laughing. This is serious. Don't mock me. Done. There you go. Okay. Now look, Sarah, look. This is why you need to buy this vacuum cleaner, because look at how quick it worked. And now look, there are no aces. The blood has gone, the crud has gone, the slime and the grime has gone. Yeah. You're left with a carpet as new as it was from the first second that you had it fitted. So the question is, where is all the smud, blood, slime and grime? Well, the thing is, when you open up the vacuum cleaner, please remember to change the bag after each time you use it, because inside the vacuum cleaner, right there in the middle, you have all of the mud, blood, slime and grime, and that is why you should buy my vacuum cleaner. So how many can I put you down for? Would you like one, or would you like two? Would you like three? One for each room?
I'm good, thanks.
And that's why I'm a magician. Hey guys, that is another 5x5 in the bag. Let me know what you think. What did you think of the trick selection? Paul Harris has brought out so much great material. I'm fairly sure that some of you guys won't have seen some of the tricks that I actually performed for you in this set. The nice thing is the majority of them just use a regular deck of cards, which is brilliant in my opinion. Do you perform any of the Paul Harris tricks I highlighted today? If you do, let me know down below. Would you like to see another Paul Harris special? If you would, let me know down below. And is there a particular genre of magic that Paul has created that you'd like me to look at? Again, let me know down below. If you want to see more videos like this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, like the video, and I'm going to be back again tomorrow at 9 o'clock with a Talk Magic. I'll see you again. Thanks very much for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.